All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to demystify an acronym that's basically the secret language of the SAP world, Ricefw. If you've ever been near a big tech project, you've probably heard this thrown around. Well, by the end of this, you'll know exactly what it means. I mean, think about it for a second. How on earth can the same piece of software run a massive global car manufacturer and also a small local bakery? It seems impossible, right? The scale is just completely different. That's the real challenge, making a standard system feel custom-built for everyone. And here's the secret. It's not just chaos, it's not a free-for-all. There's a structured, predictable method for doing this. It's like a universal language that lets developers and consultants take the standard software and tailor it, making sure every change is tracked and makes sense. And that framework is called Ricefw. Seriously, just think of it as the 6 main tools in your toolkit for any SAP project. It's the blueprint: reports, interfaces, conversions, enhancements, forms, and workflow. So let's crack this thing open, letter by letter. Okay, so we're going to start with the first 3 letters, R, I, and C. These are all about managing the absolute lifeblood of any company, its data, how you see it, how you move it, and how you share it. First up, R is for reports. You know, a system like SAP is sitting on a mountain of data. Reports are basically how you ask that data a question. You know, like, hey, how many of our new running shoes did we sell in California last month? A report is a tool that goes in, finds the answer, and presents it to you. And these reports really come in 2 main flavors. You've got your standard reports, which are the ones that come right out of the box with SAP. They're super useful, but sometimes a business has a really specific, unique question, and that's when the tech team has to build a custom report from the ground up. Next up, I for interfaces. Let's be real, no company's tech works in a vacuum. They use other specialized software for things like banking or shipping or HR. Interfaces are the crucial bridges that let SAP talk to all these other non-SAP systems, so data can flow back and forth seamlessly. This is a perfect real-world scenario. Let's say your company makes a sale in SAP. Great, but the physical box has to get shipped by an external company like FedEx or UPS. The interface is the magic that automatically sends all the delivery info from your SAP system to their shipping system. No one has to type anything twice. It just works. Now for C, conversions. This one is huge. When a company decides to switch to SAP, they can't just start from a blank slate. They've got years, maybe decades, of customer data, sales history, and product info in their old system. Conversions are all about carefully moving that precious history into its new home in SAP. But look, this is so much more than a simple copy and paste job. It's a really careful process. You extract the data from the old system, you transform it, meaning you clean it up and reformat it so SAP can understand it, and then you load it into the new system. It takes a whole team to make sure it's done right. All right, so we've handled the data. Now for the other half of Ricefw, the E, F, and W. This is where we stop talking about just data and start talking about how we actually change the way the software behaves to match exactly how a company operates. E stands for enhancements. Think of it like this. SAP is like a suit you buy off the rack. It fits pretty well, but it's not perfect. An enhancement is like taking that suit to a master tailor to get it adjusted perfectly to fit your specific needs, adding a feature or changing a function that just isn't there in the standard version. And this is a fantastic example. Let's say standard SAP has barcode scanning functions, but only for huge, complex warehouses. Well, what if your company has simpler needs and just wants to scan items in a smaller stockroom? An enhancement lets you build that exact functionality right where you need it, filling a gap that the standard software had. Okay, on to F for forms. And yeah, even today, documents are what make the business world go round. Forms are all those official outputs that your company sends out. Things like invoices to your customers, purchase orders to your suppliers, or even the delivery note that goes in the box. So sure, SAP gives you a basic, generic template for an invoice, but you don't want to send that. You need a custom form that has your company's logo, your address, and all the important legal fine print at the bottom. It makes everything look professional and legit. And last but not least, W for workflow. The best way to think about this is as the digital traffic cop for your internal business rules. It's the engine that automatically routes tasks and approvals to the right people at the right time, making sure nothing falls through the cracks. This purchase order process is a classic workflow. Let's say an employee needs to order something over, say, 500 bucks. They can't just click buy. The workflow automatically sends an alert to their manager. Once the manager clicks approve, it might then automatically go to the vice president for the final sign-off. It's all automated, and it creates a perfect digital paper trail. And there you have it. We made it through the whole acronym. We've covered all 6 components. So let's do a quick recap and put this decoder ring to use one last time by looking at the whole Ricefw toolkit together. This table right here is your ultimate cheat sheet. R is for viewing data. I is for connecting systems. C is for moving old data. E is for modifying the software. F is for creating documents, and W is for automating approvals. That's it. Ricefw is the language used to bridge that gap between a standard piece of software and the unique DNA of a specific business. So that leaves us with one final big question. We know the tools now, right? We know how to customize SAP, but the real challenge, the art of every single one of these projects, is deciding what's a genuine business need versus what's just a nice-to-have want. And figuring that out, well, that's a whole other story. Thanks for tuning in.